Hey guys, welcome to James Does Games. Thank you so much for joining me for this very special 5th video. Last week you saw me rant and rage and generally just be pretty inept at Red Dead Redemption 2. This time round I thought I'd do something a little different. Playing the latest offering from Rockstar reminded me that I'd never finished Red Dead Redemption 1, and when I think about it, many other games that I really should have seen the credits for. There are a whole bunch of titles in my gaming library which deserve my reattention, and I'm hoping that today's video will bring me the motivation. So with that being said, here are the top 10 games that I really need to finish. Hope you guys enjoy it. Released in 2017, Kingdom Come Deliverance was definitely a first day buy for me. I had followed the game since its announcement, super keen for a realistic medieval role-playing game. And by realistic, I mean you could pretty much smell the horse crap. So as we can see with this game, I've gotten 19% of the trophies. I last booted it up in June this year, and so far I've played for 358 hours. Really? That can't be right. There's no way I've spent this much time on a game. Or at least, I hope not. So, why haven't I finished it? The problem with Kingdom Come for me is that it is designed to be overwhelmingly realistic, not only visually but also mechanically and narratively. Overall, I think this should be applauded, but sometimes it gets in the way of your objectives and ultimately your ability to actually finish the game. Plus, it just never seems to end. All that being said, the game is beautiful and really unique. So hopefully one day I'll find the time for another 300 hours to sink into it. If you owned a Wii, chances are you owned Mario Galaxy. Released in 2007, this game was really a flagship for the console. The gameplay is tight, super rewarding, and it's still beautiful even today. As we can see here with my adorable little Nintendo Mii face, I've gotten 32 stars and last played in April 2014. Not sure on the hours, but 32 stars sounds like a decent amount. So, why haven't I finished it? Well, as much as I hate to admit it, I've just never been a huge Mario guy, despite the intro to this channel. And for all its otherworldly gravitational charm, Galaxy just couldn't get me across the line. I guess I've also never really been big on platforming either, which doesn't help. I'd really love to see this game through to the end one day, as its icon status really does demand the attention that I failed to give it originally. Hopefully the Wii Remote and nunchuck controls don't let me down. Mass Effect 3, by all accounts, was pretty disappointing. Its predecessor is one of my favourite games of all time, and I thoroughly enjoyed the first one too. But for whatever reason, the third installment released in 2012 just didn't recapture the magic. However, as you can see here, with the last play session back in November 2014, I did put a good 7 hours plus into Mass Effect 3, spurned forward by impressive visuals and the promise of a completed trilogy. So, why didn't I finish it? By the time I got this game, I was well onto the way of getting a PS4, so a lot of PS3 games fell to the wayside. It's pretty tough to go back a generation, especially when it's to complete an inferior sequel. With all that in mind, capturing the footage for this video reminded me that it still holds up really well visually, and hopefully at some point I'll play the trilogy to its underwhelming conclusion. Released in 2009, Batman Arkham Asylum is a game that spawned not only sequels, but a few copycats as well, mainly paying homage to the excellent combat system. Loading this game up on the PS3 tells me that I don't even have a save registered, but I do remember at least playing through the early Joker introduction, and it's a great introduction. Mark Hamill immediately sucked me in by his performance, and the whole experience left me wanting more. Which begs the question, why didn't I finish it? I have no idea. I didn't even play long enough to create a save file. Maybe there was another game which I wanted to play that distracted me, or I couldn't find enough time. Either way, I feel like I missed a trick here. The guilt with this one is strong, not just because it is considered to be such a great game, but also because it was a really well-meaning Christmas gift. To my own detriment, I think I spent more time unwrapping the game than playing it. Far Cry 4 was released in 2014, and as a direct sequel to Far Cry 3, had a lot of fans. Unfortunately, I don't own the game currently, so couldn't capture any footage, but I remember playing at least an hour in the beginning and killing a bear. The weird thing about this series is that I played and absolutely adored Far Cry Primal, which was released in 2016 to considerably less enthusiasm. So, why didn't I finish Far Cry 4? There were just so many other games that were released around that time that I was playing more of. And for whatever reason, Far Cry 4 just didn't grab me like the others. Plus, after skipping it and playing the caveman version, there just didn't really seem like a good enough reason to boot it up again. Considering I don't own Far Cry 4 currently, and the series has evolved, I can't see myself returning to the game. But stranger things have happened, like me loving Primal. Uncharted 2 is for me one of the greatest games ever made, so I was excited to see what Naughty Dog would do with the sequel. Released in 2011, Uncharted 3 is a great game, but I'd have to say it's a little disappointing when compared to its predecessor. As we can see here, I've previously completed about 62% of the story, with just under 5 hours being played. So why didn't I finish it? The PS4 was on the horizon, and this game just didn't grab me as much as Uncharted 2. Naughty Dog probably shouldn't have raised the bar so high with Drake's adventures to Kambala. Pretty hard to get that lightning striking twice. As I was capturing the footage for this video, I did find myself getting drawn back into the story, which is driven forward by the great interplay between the characters, especially Drake and Sully. And visually, it still looks good. So I'm sure that I'll jump back into this again soon. I would describe myself as a casual Zelda fan. I enjoyed Ocarina on the N64, and Wind Waker on the GameCube is right up there with some of my favourite games. So getting an updated Zelda on the Wii with improved visuals and a new story was really appealing. Released on both Wii and GameCube in 2006, I remember getting through a few hours on this one back in the day, and really enjoying it. I don't seem to still have the save file, so I had to start a new game to capture this footage, and I definitely wanted to play more. So why didn't I finish it? Once I'd seen the power and performance that the PlayStation 3 offered when compared to the Nintendo Wii, it was kind of a no-brainer. Sony became my obsession, and Nintendo quickly faded into my rear view. But playing a little bit of it for this video made me realise what I've been missing out on. This is a game that I really need to get back to, not just because it deserves to be finished, but also because, as opposed to something like Wind Waker, which has an ageless graphical design, this game doesn't really get better with age. Fallout 4 was released in 2015, and I was reasonably keen to give it a go. I wasn't a huge Fallout guy, but put quite a few hours into New Vegas and loved Bethesda for the Elder Scrolls series. As we can see here, I got 12% of the trophies in Fallout 4 and put almost 20 hours into the game. So why didn't I finish it? I remember being really disappointed with the look of this game. It seemed outdated, and without a dragon or a Dovahkiin shout, it was tough to get through. Basically, it wasn't Skyrim. It's no 76 though either, which is definitely a good thing. Coming back to this game today has instantly made me want to return for good. It seems to look a lot better than I remember, and after playing 76, this feels like a Fallout game which was done right. Red Dead Redemption, released in 2010, is one of the defining games of its generation. An incredible story and setting were the main reasons why it was received so well, and that has continued with its sequel. I did put quite a few hours into this one, but I must have started a new save, as the last one here is only for about an hour of gameplay. Obviously, already having 2 cracks at this one, the question needs to be asked: why didn't I finish it? Again, visual comparison ruined this one for me. Rockstar games like this one, and especially GTA 4, always seem to look better on the 360, or at least worse on the PS3. This is also a game that you need to invest a lot of time in, like the second one, and life just seemed to get in the way. This is another game that capturing footage for has made me want to jump back into it full time. I actually find the movement, controls, and combat way more satisfying than the sequel. It would be great if we could get a remaster soon. Horizon Zero Dawn was one of the best, if not the best game released in 2017. Incredible visuals, an original setting, and a really likable character are some of the reasons this thing was getting 9s and above across the board. I had a good crack at this one, getting 10% of the trophies, playing for 8 hours or so, and pretty recently. So why didn't I finish my number 1 pick? The thing about Horizon is I got it right before Kingdom Come Deliverance came out. So I played it for a couple of days and then Deliverance stole all my attention away. Which is ironic considering that now that game has also been added to this shameful collection. This is a no-brainer for me. I will come back to this game. Maybe tomorrow, maybe in a week, maybe in a year, but I will come back. It's a strange thing to feel like you owe a game your time, but with Horizon, that is certainly the case. So there you go guys, that was my top 10 list of games that I really need to finish. It's actually pretty embarrassing looking at all these games that I just didn't commit to enough and gave up on, mostly because something new and shiny came along. I guess I'm a bit of a magpie in that way. One of the great things about making this video and capturing the footage is that it reminded me just how great these games are, and I'm excited to dive back into some of them soon. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, which is unlikely, like it, share it, subscribe it, totally up to you. That's it from me. I'll see you guys in the next one.